One of the common excuses that I've come across for people not achieving their goals is that they have no time. It's time to get real. Hi, good day, and welcome to Belucci Studios. If you haven't subscribed as yet, I'd like you to please consider subscribing. And if you do enjoy this video, then give the video the good old thumbs up. In today's video, we are going to be looking at one of the very common excuses that people have for not achieving their goals, and that is that they just don't have enough time. Now, this video forms part of the Get Real series. In the Get Real series, what we will be doing is we will be looking at one excuse every week. We will examine the excuse and we will look for possible solutions for how to get around that excuse and how you can actually accomplish the goal that you set out for yourself. These videos will be short, bite-sized videos, and by short I mean anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes, and if I can, I will try to keep it below 10 minutes, but no longer than 15 minutes. So what we will be doing in these videos is I will provide practical solutions that underpin the reasons behind the excuses that people come up with for why they cannot achieve their goals. Let's get into it. So the excuse, and this is what it is, it's an excuse. When people say that I don't have time, it's not a reason. It's something that you are saying to yourself to kind of make you feel better for why you can't do the thing that you have set out for or that you would like to achieve. It's not a reason, it's an excuse, folks, and let's be real about it. It's not that there isn't enough time, because if there wasn't enough time, then that would mean that really successful people should also not be able to achieve their goals, to achieve their visions. And some of the goals that other people have stated for themselves are much loftier than the goals that us ordinary folks state for ourselves. And how do you set up a multi-million-dollar company and all that you have is 24 hours in every day, same like the rest of us, 7 days in every week, same like the rest of us, and 365 days a year, same like the rest of us? So how is it that these people are able to achieve those results in the same time frame, in the same 365 days that we do? The real reason for why you haven't been able to achieve your goal is that you are busy with other things. There are other things that you've come across that for some reason or the other, that you have decided to place more emphasis and more focus on. Some of these things are really frivolous and some of these things are actually quite important, but you just haven't been prepared to put in the work to ensure that you can do what you have to do and still achieve your goals. So what are you gonna do about it? Let's have a look at what the typical day would look like for most people. Okay, so let's look at these figures. You have 6 hours that you spend sleeping. You spend maybe another 8 hours at work, and if you're anything like me, you spend on average about 30 minutes in the gym. Some people think that 30 minutes isn't enough. So 30 minutes is plenty when you utilize that time effectively. Then you spend maybe another 1.5 hours in the bathroom and other bathroom related activities. Now this isn't for one visit, this is like all the time that you spend in the day. So that could include things like when you go and brush your teeth in the morning, you take a shower, you make use of the loo, bunch of other things that you maybe could do there. Some people would spend a lot less time, other people would spend more, all depending on whether you have long hair or short hair, whether you need to do makeup or you don't need to do makeup, all of that kind of thing. Then maybe you spend about an hour eating every day, so that would be breakfast, lunch and supper. Then maybe you're one of those people that has to travel to work. You have a daily commute. Maybe you spend 1.5 hours. You could spend more or less than that, but that's just one figure that I've put up there. Maybe you spend 1.5 hours on meal prep. So if your day looks anything like this, if you've added up all of the things that you do, and it comes up to something like this, then I would say that most people spend about 20 hours a day, Monday to Friday. On the weekend, we can take off maybe going to the work, and let's say we take off going to the gym as well. That leaves you with then another 24 hours that you have. So let's say that you have that 44 hours a week, 20 hours during the week and 24 hours on the weekend that you have available to you, where that's time that you have that you can actually use for other things, that you can use to be spent, that you can use on your goal. So let's say that we're working with that 44 hours. All right. And if you've looked at these figures that I've put here, I haven't put up any time for watching TV. So I haven't put up any time for lounging around. I haven't put up any time for the series that you would watch or watching TV. None of that leisure activities has been specified here. All right. So if we look at this schedule, you see that you do have time. There is time. Now, some of us maybe do fill up that remaining time with leisure activities, watching series, watching TV, listening to music, and just chilling. And that's fine. But do you have a goal that you want to achieve? If the excuse that you have is that I don't have enough time in the day to actually go and achieve my goal, to go and do that thing, and that thing could be either learning to play an instrument, it could be focusing on your weight loss goals, which could, if you look at the meal prep, for instance, maybe you aren't eating healthily. Maybe the foods that you are eating, you're eating a lot of fast food, a lot of junk food. If that's the case, then you need to spend more time actually preparing food, and by doing that, you might actually start eating healthy, and eating healthy could then result in your weight actually stabilizing and actually coming down. So there are things like that. But then there are things that are a little bit more complex, like learning a new skill, learning to play the guitar, learning to play the keyboards, learning to play the drums. There are skills that you can pick up that are quite complex and that do require a lot of time. Then there are other things. Maybe you'd like to increase your salary, and that could range from anything from finding a job at another company, finding a different job within the company that you are at. It could also include things like studying for a certification, studying for a degree or diploma, and those things would require a lot more time and a lot more effort on your part. So it could be any one of those things. So if you take any one of those things and you would like to do that so that you improve some aspect of your life, then if your time is filled, if that 44 hours is filled up with a lot of leisure activities, then surely you can cut out some of that leisure activities, or all of them, depending on the complexity of your goal. You could cut out some or all of that time, leisure time, and start focusing on your goal. Make sense? Cool. Then there are other situations. So there's people that fill their time with leisure. What about if you are in a relationship? If you love someone, you've got to spend time with him. But spending time with that person doesn't mean that you now need to put your life on hold so that the two of you can be together, because that to me that's not a healthy relationship. So you can speak to your partner and say, listen, this is the amount of time that I do have available every week, and me and you spend a lot of that time together. Could we maybe not negotiate, a new arrangement so that we can still have the relationship, but so that I can still do this, and while I'm doing this, maybe you can pursue your goal as well. That's a win-win situation. And if your partner is like, yeah, let's do that, then problem solved. However, and we know that it's not always going to be that easy, and not everybody's in a relationship of that nature, then I would strongly recommend that you watch some of my previous videos. Maybe you could watch episode 3 and learn more about the win-win proposition. Take that to your partner and see if with that knowledge and armed with that, whether you can actually negotiate a better settlement. However, if that is not the case, then you can look at episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9, where I essentially deal with toxic relationships, with people who are taking the best of you, but not the best for you. And armed with that knowledge, you can then make a decision. Your choice. Totally up to you what you want to do. If you don't want to do any of this and you have your goals, but this person that you're busy with is completely impeding your ability to move forward, and you are happy with that, then that's your choice, buddy. So there's the situation where you have all of this leisure time, and then there's the situation where there's something or someone that's taking up time in your life, and you should be negotiating with him, and you can negotiate with him, and maybe that will allow you to get to the point that you want to be at. But then there are some situations that are a lot more difficult to deal with, like for instance when you have children. If they are babies, you need to put your life on hold, and that's fine. But then you can say to yourself that there is a baby right now, and I need to, for this period in my life, I need to put my dreams on hold. And when the time comes, and I am in a better situation, the child is older, then I will pick up my dreams again. But then that's the right response to that situation. It's not you just saying, I have no time, and you don't make any plans, because that's the aim. I think the aim in self-help, the aim in motivation, is to get you to the point where you will do it either now or you will do it later, but it will be done. And that's what I would like to encourage you in this video, is to either do it now, or if you can't do it now because of your particular set of circumstances, then make a plan to do it at a future time. So then when you do have that situation that is as complicated as a child, there is a child involved, or there is something that can't be moved, then you need to say, okay, fine, for now I can't do it now, I'll do it later. But then is there a possibility for you to delegate what you are doing to someone else, and that person maybe takes care of that situation for you for maybe 1 or 2 hours, so that you can focus on what you need to do, and then once you're done, you come back to that thing. In a marriage situation where there are 2 partners, that can be done, and there are couples that have done that. Where the husband is maybe studying and the wife isn't, and the husband will say, can you take care of the kids for these 2 hours? Let me put in 2 hours of studying so that I can get my degree. And the wife is like, cool. Sometimes it's the wife who's asking the husband. That's a win-win situation, and that's the kind of situation that you want to be in. So now we've covered all of the possibilities: the leisure, the things that you can absolutely drop, the things where you need to negotiate with someone, and then the situation where you need to delegate some of your responsibility or your time to someone else, delegate that responsibility to someone else so that you have the time available. Right. So now we've covered, I think that covers just about every possible scenario. Now the objection comes, yeah, but if I'm just doing 2 hours a night, I don't feel that that's enough, or an hour a night, I don't feel that that's enough. And I can tell you that it is enough. It's enough when you consider the compounded effect of all of the time. So in isolation, 1 hour is not a lot. But 1 hour every night, 5 days a week, for 7 weeks, is 35 hours that you have put into that thing. And if you do that for an entire year, that's a lot of hours. And so the hours build up, and that's what you need to do if you don't have a lot of time. If there are time constraints, you need to work within those constraints. That's the way it is. If you don't want to work in those constraints and you want the perfect situation and you don't have it, then you're not going to achieve your goal. Then when you say, I don't have time, don't lie to yourself and just say that, well, I wasn't prepared to do what it takes. And this is the problem that a lot of people have, is that they aren't prepared to do what it takes to get what they want. But they want it, but they're not prepared to do what is required. So how are you going to move forward? How do you get what you want when you're not prepared to do what is required? And this is the part that we need to get right. So this, folks, is the first episode. So there is no excuse. When your excuse is that I don't have enough time, there is time. You can find it. Either you will find it now or you will find it later. But you can find it. If you really want it, you'll make a plan. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you have liked this video, please do consider subscribing if you have not subscribed as yet. So if for those of you who don't know how the subscribing thing works, you need to be viewing this on YouTube. So if you're viewing it on any other platform, then it won't work out that well. So you need to go to YouTube, find my channel, find this video, or find my channel, and then you'll see there's a subscribe button down below here somewhere. You click that subscribe button and you are subscribed. It doesn't cost you a cent. Other than the only thing that it costs you is your time. And also consider, if you have liked this video, give it the good old thumbs up. And this has been another exciting video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers, guys.